That's pretty impressive, Drew.
Very nice.
Well, better than the other one.
Yeah. Jeremy, what's going on with you?
What's that?
What's going on with you today, sir?
Just been hiking and in the morning finished the last fiberglass and started epoxying the 3,000 gallons on the repair.
Beyond that bottom seam?
Hey, I can help you with that 3,000. I'll bring my scuba gear.
Scuba.
Yeah. How big that estuary? Now, are you going to have fish in that on the estuary, or is that just going to be mangroves?
It's going to be primarily for the filtration system, mangrove and macroalgae and a lot of live rock and everything. But it is also going to be the place for the grow outs for that tank and for babies. So,
okay.
Different roles at different times.
Kind of like a great big sump.
Yeah, I mean, there's a 22-foot long 500 gallon sump on that tank underneath there.
Yeah.
So this is another 1,000. But it'll be it's really for the grow outs. When do you order fish, like especially like big snappers, groupers, sharks, rays, stuff like that, to get them like big enough to where the adult sharks don't take them out is usually not available and prohibitively expensive. So
yeah.
So you're gonna need a serious grow out for them. So hopefully it'll just sort of.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, hopefully it'll just solve all the problems with one thing. Plus look cool too because once all those mangrove roots grow down there, into the rock work and the sand and everything, it'll be pretty sweet looking. So.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you, Jeremy, that is your actual background? That's a real thing I'm looking at, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay, real quick, the 3 tanks that are in the shot. What do you got in
That's
those
one
3
tank.
tanks?
So it's all one tank, and you're only seeing about half of it.
That's one tank. It's
Oh, my
4,500 gallons.
I thought that was 3 tanks. Well,
No, that's one tank.
Goes all the way down there, and all the way down there.
oh my God.
Jimmy,
Well, that's unbelievable, young man.
There, Jimmy.
How long is that, Jeremy?
33 feet. And Jimmy, that's
only
the 45. That's 4,500 gallons.
Well, you know what they say about guys with big fish tanks.
That didn't take long.
Nope.
Got to be compensating for something. That's some serious compensation.
Wow.
Right there.
Well, I'm telling you, that is incredible, Jeremy. That is fantastic.
See, if
That's
you follow
actually
this
the only
channel,
deal
you'd
that-
know about it.
Well, I've been trying to. I did take a quick look at the last couple of videos that he did because Curtis told me to get over there and check them out. But I had no idea that was all one tank. That's incredible. Wow.
Every once in a while, someone will give me the comment like, "You should just have one giant piece of glass in the front," And it's just like,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Have you ever bought
A, that would cost $85,000. B, it would weigh 85,000 pounds. It's like,
And it'd be,
Exactly.
what, 2 foot thick?
Exactly. And needless to say, you probably handcrafted that thing, didn't you?
oh yeah. Built in place. Yeah.
Wow.
I was gonna say the only build I've ever done that almost broke me, like when I was fiberglassing it, that was so many. I don't know. It was a couple of weeks of just fiberglassing every day after work for hours and hours. And I was partway through it. I was just, oh my god, this is too much.
Okay. Okay, Jeremy, I got a question for you. A straight question. Why?
Why not?
Because he can.
I spent 18 years, about 20 years of my life working a job where I had to travel. I didn't know when I would return home, that kind of thing. I only ever had was one 500-gallon fish tank with a 1,000-gallon sump. And the reason it was set up that way was to create live food culture so that I could be gone for a month and it would be fine, you know? And I always swore as soon as I could get a place that I wanted, that it would have a giant basement that was a walkout, and I was going to fill the entire basement with a bunch of massive tanks. So that's
okay.
Culminated in that, you know? So, and that'll always be the biggest one right there because there's unless I add another addition on the basement, there's no room for anything bigger than that. So.
And then you've got what, 1,200 gallons on each side of you?
Yeah, right in front of me here, each side's 1,200-gallon tank. One's almost done, one's kind of halfway.
And then when are you going to build one more there in the annex?
Yeah, right now I have the sort of the shark baby estuary there right now, a pond set up temporary. But that tank will be 12 feet long, but only 2 feet from front to back. So probably only be like maybe 500 gallons at max, something like that. It'll be a smaller tank.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's not small fish in that 4,500 either. Holy cow.
Wow.
It's probably got the biggest peacock basses I've ever seen.
Yeah, those are the baby, or over there, yeah, the baby ones, but they're not really babies anymore. But the big ones are over on that side.
Okay, Jeremy, where do you get the majority of the food that you feed your fish?
Like what vendor or what? Like
yeah, where do you buy the bulk of your fish food?
Do you buy it in like a 5-pound bucket or?
Yeah, it's just off of Amazon, but the larger containers, you know, like a combination of Ikari, Extreme, Northfin, and all those guys will sell like in the big bags, you know. Like Ikari, you can get these big. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you do any live feeding at all?
No.
Good.
For my marine fish, the sharks, I get their food from like the Chinese grocery stores. They have like the, you know, like little fish you can get from overseas. It's a type of little yellowfin fish. Then you can get like shrimp with the, you know, it's a different kind of shrimp, not the kind you usually see here. It's like a reddish color. It comes from like north of Japan, and it's got you know, all the outsides on, you know, the shell and everything. So because the sharks need that calcium, they need to eat all of that. But anyway, sometimes, and I even get squid, octopus, all these different things. But so I have that food for the marine fish, but sometimes they'll throw it in for the bass or the Oscars. You know, they like it. So, but it's frozen. Right? It's not a lot.
Wow, that's cool. Really.
So is there any stingrays in your future?
There is. It's just
I figured if you had a spot, you'd get them.
Well, this was built for stingrays, so the 3 fish that were absolutes were Arawata, peacock bass, and stingrays. Well, I guess 4 fish and Oscars. Anything else was additional.
Yeah.
But the rays aren't cheap, and they're not, you know, sourcing them there's limited places, so
yeah.
I kind of want to wait till I worked out all the kinks and everything on the tank first before I bring them in.
Yeah, because you don't want to lose a $1,000 stingray.
Yeah, I've still been making adjustments on this. Like actually, in the next video I put out, like the lights on this side over here are different than the other side now, and also I got a giant air system for it. It's like meant for commercial ponds that I'm putting on there. I'm gonna try moving a lot of the water using the air stones. So
yeah, because aren't they ripping off like the power heads and stuff you got in there?
Yeah, they've destroyed like 4 of them now. 4 of them they've broken them, like ripped them in half, like the impeller is gone, and just this ridiculous.
What kind
2 of
lights
them
are
are just
Wow.
dangling around like this because they keep attacking it. So
Do what, Jake?
Okay.
So what kind of lights are you using? What kind of lights?
so up top for the plants that grow out of the tank, there are these 6,000 Kelvin LED spotlights that are meant for like outside of your house or something. I used to have those on the tank as well, but the light, when you have it on just on the top, it doesn't disperse the light enough. It gives you a little bit of a spot beam effect.
It's a call.
So,
Yeah.
so on this side over here, it still has them. It has those lights for in the tank and above the tank. But on this side over here, it now has Night Crew Sky LEDs on it, which disperse a lot better. So, and they're cheap. And I've always had. I mean, I'm not having a relationship with Night Crew or anything, but I've always had a bunch of Night Crew lights because they were cheap, and I put them on
good
like
things
grow
about
out.
Night Crew.
Huh?
I've heard good things about Night Crew.
Yeah, they just seem. I mean, I've had them for years and years, and they just seem to work. They last. There's no problem. So,
Yeah.
and they don't heat up.
Like, do you have temperature control? Like, what kind of controls are on those lights? Can you change the color, temperature, the Kelvin rating, all? Or,
Yeah, you can. Yeah, they have that. They have that.
Well, lumen for fade, but like color, temperature.
Yeah, they have the Kelvin settings. They have the daylight or the 24-hour cycle. They have you can turn the blues or whites or whatever off, that kind of stuff. They have a night light. I don't really use them that way. I just put them at around 6,000 Kelvin, and then put them on. I control everything with timers. So my own timers, not the ones that come with the light.
Yeah. We've been using a lot of
Right.
shop lights. You buy stuff from like Menards or whatever. And the problem I have with those is only purely for YouTube. Like they work great in general, but when it comes time to actually like take video or photos, there's a lot of glare because you're hanging it above or something. It's not resting right
Yeah.
on the tank. So having something that's like designed to actually sit on the top of your tank and be low profile works really good for filming and taking pictures. Is that why you choose those sort of lights, or?
No, the main thing was just for light dispersion because the other ones, the form factor is more like a rectangular kind of puck kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
If the other lights I had, if they sold them in big long strips, they would be fine. But they just don't. So they're not meant. They're meant for outside like floodlights kind of thing. So.
Yeah.
But one thing I'll say with Night Cruise, which a lot of other cheaper lights like Beamworks and or all those other ones, Aquanites, those get really hot on the heat diffuser, the metal part of the top. The Night Cruise don't get that way. They don't heat up.
So the ones I had the most problems with were Kessel.
Yeah, I've got
couldn't
a
keep-
Kessel Graveyard.
I couldn't keep them longer than a year. The Tuna Suns. After about a year, they just petered out.
I had the same problem. The first one I ate it, and then after that, I filled out all the forms and sent it in, and they'd send me replacements, and they would die. And I have the
Wow.
tanks covered, the top, so they're not exposed to water. My basement is humidity controlled, the whole thing, so there's no part of my basement that's high humidity. So they don't
What'd you
last.
say, Kurt?
Well, what happens with them is, here's the thing I found: if you want to keep a Kessel alive, you need to get a can of compressed air, or you have to have a compressor with an air gun on it, and you got to blow it out once a month. It has this tiny little fan. All the LEDs are concentrated, which gives you that shimmer, right? Because there's like one point of light. And right above that, all those LEDs concentrated, all that heat's concentrated. They just have a little fan right there. And that little fan always just gets gummed up with dust or whatever. and
Mhm.
that fan doesn't hold up at all, and they just overheat.
I
But,
did not know
like,
that.
there was a time where I might have had like 30 Kessels, and going around and blowing them out every month is not realistic. You know?
Yeah, huge pain
No.
in the butt.
Especially
Yeah.
for what you pay for.
But that's back when they were expensive, but not like they are now. You know?
Yeah,
Them lights were
Right.
pretty high.
yeah, they are.
If you look at their latest designs, they're a lot more open because of the heat. Like the WEs and stuff, they're really bad. The X's aren't as bad. Or the other thing I would do too is like, you know, you can get those little fans for like $8. You can just mount it on the wall. I would put those above, you know, like I have some tanks that are like in wall, so I'd have that fan just blowing across those kettles 24/7.
Mhm.
That also works too. They'll live. The only ones I still have that lived are ones where I just did that, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
on my
that works if it's in an in-wall tank, but that looks ridiculous if it's sort of like out like this, you know.
on my
Fan for it.
I made my own canopy, and I use those. You remember the desktop computers have those little fans in them?
Mhm.
I put 2 on each end, so they were blowing through there to work just fine after that.
Push pull kind of deal.
Yeah, push pull kind of deal. There's a question for you. How long before you're going to start live streaming all the time?
No immediate plans.
Or once in a while?
And for me, it's time. I just don't have. I already use all the time more than I have. So
It's understandable.
I mean, and I usually the
Hey,
usual
Jeff.
complaint from people who like my channel is it takes too long to get videos out. You know.
You get them up when you get them up.
Well, you're doing way better than most of us. So
Mhm.
Oh gosh, yeah. Hey Jeff, could you put Jeremy's link in the chat? Because I want to click on it right now.
I told you to do that a couple months ago, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I did. I
Well, like
looked
my
at it.
goal
I did.
is a video a week, and it's hard to do that. You know?
Yeah.
You know,
Takes a couple
Curtis,
years to
you know I have
clone
a
some.
very active social life. You know I don't have time for
I
that.
know.
You and me both, bud.
Jeremy's probably like, you're probably like the rest of us, is we do something and then we're like, man, I should have made a video out of that.
Yeah, yeah.
I do that all the time.
Oh,
Why did I make a video out of that?
I do it right in the middle of him. Like, you know, we should have camera.
Thank you,
rolling
Jeff.
now.
Yeah.
Or Curtis will film everything, and then you won't see the footage.
That's right.
I do
It's
that
still
too.
sitting on my desktop on this computer right here.
We have a wealth of
Actually,
videos that have never put up.
I was just thinking the 4500. I have tons and tons of footage of building it, and I'm going to put out a video from beginning to end. But I finished it like a year ago, and I still haven't put out that video. I just got that folder sitting there. With all
You
the
got footage. You got footage too
Do
of
it
when you
anyway.
built the annex, don't you?
Yeah, I like sort of the blog style videos. I would put out the building of the room and the tank. So they're like the process of building it is out there, but it's in videos with other stuff. Usually in my videos, there's a few different topics in one video, and I'm sort of bouncing back and forth. So it exists like that, but there's no video like on the 3,000 gallon. I put out a video that just shows the very beginning to the very end, you know, of the process. And I
Right.
intend to do that with this too, but sitting down and going through, you know, many, many hours of footage to do that, it's just never really had the time yet.
It'd be like about a 3 or 4 hour long video.
Yeah, there's no way it's under an hour for sure, and I'm going to try to keep it under 2 hours. So it's probably going to be like 2 hours.
I'd watch it.
I'll watch it. Yeah.
I like them long format.
I mean, YouTube kind of keeps track of what you've seen so far, so you can always like watch part of it and watch part of it later. Kind of thing. Whatever. I assume everybody fast forward, right? Because every video usually says that the watch percentage is like 50-something%. Well, basically around half.
I don't fast forward, not through yours.
Me either.
Now, Jake, I don't know about
Yeah, I
you.
guess-
up on timelines.
I might fast forward through Jake. You know, we don't know.
I film stuff and then it becomes like a month later, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to put that out there because it's not new anymore. But what difference does it make, really? Just
Somebody will watch it.
somebody will. Probably Jimmy because he gets bored.
Did you ever find your angelfish? Since you pick on me about it.
I need you to get them to breed them.
Oh, I was supposed to.
I need mass quantity. That's the thing.
Shoot,
What's that?
those things, they're tough to find, let alone breeding them. I could breed them if I could find them.
Yeah, I figured they're just probably like regular angelfish when it comes to breeding, but yeah, finding them. I've only ever seen them at what is it? Starts with an H. Out there in Washington.
Yeah, Aquahuna is the only place I've seen.
Oh yeah, Aquahuna. Sorry, H Aquahuna. Yeah, not in stock, but they're the only ones that list them. You know.
Yeah. Well, I sent him an email that let me know whenever they're in stock. You know.
What kind of angels
Have
are
you seen
those?
Aquahuna's prices on cloud lotions? Amazing prices.
Yeah. And amazing prices on shipping compared to others too.
Yeah. I've had, a lot of my fish for like the community tanks come from there. They do good.
Awesome.
Let's
Nice.
see if this lets me do
What?
this.
Westspot went a little crazy lately. For a long time, they had pretty sweet prices at shipping. I'm not sure about the shipping right now, but the prices have ballooned up a little bit.
Red diamond head angel.
Yeah.
I believe that Aquahuna they did raise their shipping costs, but I think it's only like $16 still. So you can't beat
That's
that.
still cheaper than a lot of them.
Depends on what
Right,
you order.
right. I think they went up $3 or $4, I think, but that's not much.
No, that's still cheaper than some of them.
And he's right up the road from me. So
Get in your
But I
car,
don't have-
Jimmy, and go up there.
yeah, I could do that. Wouldn't that be something? I would love to go there. That would be great. Actually, it's like a 12-hour drive, but
I put it in the
I'd
chat.
do it.
About 3.
I need somebody who lives in California or Oregon to catch me baby leopard shark and gray smooth hound shark, and drive those over to Maryland.
Well,
If
Jimmy,
you fish for them, you can catch.
Jimmy, you're the closest one. Jimmy,
They're easy to catch, Jimmy.
you're the
Oh.
closest one to go catch his sharks.
Oh, okay.
I can get
It'll
him
be
some
fun, like cross
paddlefish.
country drive, you know, with a big tub in the back and an aerator.
I got to get out of here. I got to get out of this house.
Well, there you go. There's your excuse to get out. You can go catch some fish for Jeremy.
Yeah, you and June go to the beach and start catching.
Oh, can you see me in June on the beach? Oh my God. Wow. Hey, I want to change the subject real quick. Remember I said I was going to talk about something? I'm watching
Uh-oh.
a football game. I'm watching a football game on CBS. A commercial comes on. And, you know, for those that don't know, I'm a big movie fan. I love watching movies, old movies, new movies, whatever. And I've always liked Denzel Washington. I think he's a great actor. I don't think the guy made a bad film. Okay, but anyway, and Curtis likes his remake of the Magnificent Seven. He's watched that about 45 times. I've only
It's a
watched
good
it about
shit.
30
It's a good
times.
movie.
Curtis. Yeah.
Heck
But
yes.
anyway, Denzel's a great actor, and I love the two films that he made with The Equalizer, right? The Equalizer movies. Great movies,
Mhm.
right? So I'm watching CBS, and on comes a commercial for their TV show, The Equalizer. And what the heck? I find out that Queen Latifah is playing The Equalizer? What the hell is wrong with this country?
Oh yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say. Next.
I haven't watched regular TV in probably 10 years, so I don't know.
Me either.
Anyway, back to the fish.
I watch Aquarium
And that's
Domain.
what you get for watching regular TV right there. That's the punishment.
Yeah. Yeah, June. We know. We'll get you outside eventually.
Oh, there she is. Yeah, June. Well, you and I are supposed to meet on the beach and try to catch a shark. I don't know. I've done crazier things than that in my lifetime.
Not just one. You're gonna have to catch more than one shark.
Then you guys got to drive
That's
to
the-
Maryland.
They're super easy to catch. That's the easy part. You just got to get it to the other coast. That's the trick.
Oh, well, then I'll just let June do it then. Is that all right?
You
I'll just
catch it. And
watch.
she take it to Jeremy.
Do the leopards lay eggs where you could just get an egg shipped to you?
No, they live birth.
Live bird?
Or technically there's an egg inside of them, but then it hatches in the live birth.
And after his last shipping of eggs, I don't know if I'd want to ship them.
Yeah. That'd be somebody else's pain trying to get to me and me instead of me trying to get to somebody. But unfortunately, they passed a law a ways back where if you ship a leopard shark, or like for commercial trade purposes, it has to be 36 inches or bigger.
Wow.
Holy cow!
That would be quite the package.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come in a crate. You have to go over to, like freight at the airport and get it and all that. It's just a pain.
Yeah. And have a forklift to get the crate.
Yeah.
Right.
Just set up a kiddie pool in the bed of your truck.
Hey, Jeremy,
Actually,
Curtis and I always talk. I got a real quick question for you, Jeremy. Curtis and I are always talking about kind of liking the outside the box type fish, something different, something unique. What do you think is the most unique fish that you keep? One individual fish. Do you got one?
So I guess unique to being like uncommon in the hobby? Or?
Well, that you would consider to be something that, hey, I don't see a lot of these around. One of those, one of those types.
Be funny. It's probably just a little community fish called a Royal Hill Trout Danio. I got 3 of them in 600 gallons. And every single video, without fail, that tank is in, multiple comments. What is that fish at? And then some timestamp, and it's always the Royal Hill Trout Danio. Every time.
Okay. Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I've
Okay.
never even heard of it.
I haven't heard of that one either.
They're hard to find, but Wet Spot gets them from time to time. So I want some more.
Yeah,
I keep checking.
Yeah, the Wet Spot comes up with some, some very different kind of fish. Yeah,
It's
they
a good
do.
thing the wet spot is where it's at, or we would all be broke.
The last time they had them in, I wanted to order them, but I wanted to pair it with other stuff to make it worth the shipping. And they didn't have the other stuff I needed, so I waited, and then they were gone again. So
Yeah, if it was
I should have just pulled the trigger and got them. So
if it was like an hour away from any of us, we'd all be in trouble.
Oh yeah.
I do 2 hours.
Yeah, because we'd be walking around there. I'll take 6 of these and 6 of those.
Take 20 of these and charge them to Curtis.
Yeah, my wife would love that.
Bro.
Yeah, she would.
She's used to it. She's used to coming home and I say, guess what I did on YouTube? There was an auction.
Uh-oh.
I did something stupid.
Yeah.
And she probably just shakes her head and walks off.
Yeah, she does.
So, Jeremy, what other activities do you have in your life besides keeping all of those fish tanks? What do you like to do outside of that?
I mean, these days the fish basement and the making videos and everything is sort of my primary hobby these days.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got a
can
full-time
understand.
job and I got family, so
Right.
by the time that's taking up the majority of the time. Thankfully, wife likes to go to bed around 9, so I got from like 9 to midnight on a few nights. Do
There you
the
go.
fish stuff.
Okay.
But random stuff. I like lifting weights, and then we actually spent the bulk of today out hiking with the dogs and everything. So, enjoying
Yeah, that's
the warm, the 60-degree weather before it gets very cold. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which that's not very far off.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Not
you're
at
up there
all.
where it's getting ready to get really nasty.
yeah, where I live, it's it can November, December, it could be 60s and 70s, or it could be 20s. It's just all you never know.
Yeah.
Right.
Sort of a Maryland thing. You don't like the weather, just wait a day. You'll get some different weather the next day.
That's Kansas.
Oh yeah, I remember there was a stretch where the company I worked for got acquired by another company, and part of the team I managed was in Denver, Colorado. They used to have to go out there 1 week a month, and I remember out there on the plains. We were going to lunch, and in the distance, you could see this massive thunderstorm coming with a gray wall. But you could see so far that you were seeing something that's going to take about an hour to get to where you are right now. And I remember coming out of lunch, and it was right there. It's there's just nothing to stop that weather. It's just like a wall that's coming from us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tell everybody about my neighbor. He moved from Virginia or Tennessee to Kansas for a job. And I pulled up in my driveway, and the tornado sirens are going off, and he's standing out in his driveway freaking out. And
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, yeah, you're all right. You can see it. It's over there.
Grab a lawn
It's
chair
over
and a
there.
beer. Let's grab a lawn chair and a beer. Let's sit here and watch it.
That's what we did. We sat on the tailgate of my truck and we drank a beer and watched it go by.
Done that many a times.
It was about a mile away.
In his defense, though, where I live,
Everyone's
you look at
Night River.
if he's Virginia, you can't see anything with all the trees. You can't see anything until it's right on top of you.
Yeah, because the storms just come over the hills and through all the trees, and then boom. We're out here, you can see for 100 miles. So
what tank was it? It was when I first started building out the fish basement. There was a derecho that came through here, 100-mile wind, but straight wind, not swirling, just straight. And I had my tool set up in the backyard, and I was cutting this big sheet of plywood on there. And you're trying to maneuver a 4x8 sheet of plywood. You're watching the line, and all of a sudden this storm just started. The wind just started kicking up. It was a crazy hot day, 100 degrees and everything. And all of a sudden it came and it just snapped a big tree, maybe about 50 feet in front of me, and it sounded like a tank, like a military tank shooting. It was just bam. And that thing just blew in half.
Yeah.
And as soon as that happened, I turned that saw off and I just started trying to clean up my tools. And within 2 minutes, pouring down rain. Just that thing just came on like insanity.
Oh yeah. I've got this giant cottonwood out here in my backyard. And a year ago, we doing some work out here, and it got hit by lightning.
There's
And
the
oh my god,
there's the whipster.
there's the old whipper.
Little whippersnapper.
There he is.
So who else is going to be at the OCAs? I know I'll be there. Whip will be there. Metalheads will be there.
That's in Cincinnati.
Cleveland or Strongsville, near Cleveland.
Near Cleveland.
It's pretty much Cleveland. It's like 8 miles or something.
Yeah, not me this year. I think I'm planning on the one in San Antonio. It's kind of like a triple crown that's going to go on in May. The ACA.
So 3 clubs that don't communicate with each other.
Yeah, same thing. ALA, ACA, the Achilles, and the Beta Congress. We'll see what kind of disaster that'll be.
When are you coming out to the Keystone Clash, Curtis?
I don't know. I keep thinking about it. I would go mainly just to meet the people, you know.
Yeah, it's a really good time. It's very very fun event. I've been the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Never let me down.
I always wonder, why does everybody fly into Philadelphia instead of Morgantown? Because I looked it up. Morgantown adds like $90 to your plane ticket. You can land right there instead of having to drive.
Well, Josh said if you flew in, he'd pick you up.
Yeah, and if Skipper doesn't pick me up, I'd have to whoop his butt, you know.
Well, Curtis, fly to Baltimore. I'll pick you up. You can.
Oh, there you go.
It's Whip.
Who's not this person or that person, but who's that person way over there in the hat? Who is this
Way over
dude?
there.
Is that
Place
Stan
out that
Lee?
we can drive up to the.
Stan Lee over here? I thought he was dead.
Dan Lee. In the flesh.
Well, obviously, Whip
Jeremy.
isn't worried about being a smartass tonight again.
I did apologize to him. I shot him a text after that stream last
Skipper, you
week.
gotta-
I
Yeah,
cannot
dude.
believe you did that, Whip.
I'm like, ah.
Oh,
You're
Hey,
fine.
Brent,
Jeremy froze.
You are
Oh,
fine,
Yep,
buddy. You're
Jeremy
fine.
froze.
Oh no.
Yep, Whip did
Jeremy's
it. Whip
frozen.
froze Jeremy.
I did.
That's great.
What have we been talking about today, boys
We're,
and lady?
we're seeing who's picking me up when I go to the class. That's what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
I threatened Skipper and he came out of the lurking mode. So that was
Mhm.
It's the Clash.
You could
Clash
swing
is
around
in,
there and
like,
get him,
Ohio or
Whipster,
something, right?
Yeah, I could.
but you won't.
I don't ride on the back of motorcycles though.
Oh yeah, I got plenty of handholds.
Shit.
Yeah, I've heard
Bruce
that
only
about
rides
you.
on the handlebars.
Are you back, Jeremy?
Yeah, Jeremy.
Nope, he still froze. No, there.
Yeah, sort of.
Wave or something.
Jeremy
Hi.
said if I flew into Baltimore, he'd pick me up and we could go together. That's even a better deal.
There he's
Hi.
back.
I think we got.
Yeah, he's back.
That's
Jeremy
even
must be using my
Class is only
internet.
about
Yeah,
an
he's.
hour and a half, so it's not fun.
better. I'll look into Baltimore because
Am I here?
You could fly into Rockford too, and then you could ride with me.
Whoa.
I mean, I wouldn't be taking the bike. That's something that Jason from Primetime Aquatics and I were going to do, and Joanna, she rides too. But due to their policies, they don't bring the same speaker back. I guess it's got to be years before they even think about bringing this a speaker that's already been there back again. So
Yeah, he's froze again. There he is.
he's thinking about
Wow.
getting it fixed.
Well, real quick, while Jeremy's trying to work out his camera issues, I just want to say that Katie is talking way too much
Way
during
too
this
much.
show.
I can barely get a
You
word.
Way
guys can't
too
even
much.
hear us.
We can hear you.
Really?
Maybe.
You're just
Say
not
something.
paying attention.
Oh, we can hear
I
you.
was trying to get River to go to sleep.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Skipper's here. Hey, Skipper.
So I said that Curtis only rides on the handlebars.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
That would be an
Well,
interesting
no,
ride.
it's not here, so I can't. Dang it.
I
Hey,
want
Jorge.
video of that. Oh my gosh. What the heck is Jorge doing here? I haven't seen that guy forever either. Is he still doing a regular show?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think he is he? Or is he?
It's
Yeah.
irregular.
Because he
When
was
he
Yeah,
was
I
like
gotta
I
get
think I think you're back, Jeremy. Yeah, you're back.
Testing.
So is
Testing.
Curtis.
Did
the
you drain
fish
your
in the
There you
bladder,
go.
background are
Curtis?
swimming, kind of.
Yeah, you're back. You're moving
I don't
around
think-
now.
I don't
You're
think
drinking a
Curtis
beer?
heard
I
that
should be
comment
drinking a
about
beer.
riding
That's
on
what
the
I should be
handlebars.
doing.
I heard Jake. I just put it in.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Big one.
I just didn't pay attention to it like usual.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna
I'm
ride
just
on
saying,
the
Curtis.
handlebars, you got to bring the fat boy though, because
No little
wide
brother of
unlimited.
mine should be riding on handlebars. That's all I'm going to say.
He prefers the foot pegs.
Front to front.
I prefer my own bike since I have a license, so I'll just ride my own.
Where
Is it
you
a
guys-
Schwinn?
I can
Yeah.
loan you the hardtail.
Oh hell no!
I just got rid of our hardtail.
Or is it a Huffy?
I did the hardtail once in my life. That'll never happen.
Good for you, Katie.
That's all I did once. That was it. No more. Especially with that Springer front end.
My wife had the 883 with the Springer front end hardtail. And she got it because she's a shorty. You know, she's like 5'2", and we tried forever to find a bike that she could, you know, flat foot, you know, at a stop. And man, that thing was the most
Shadow.
uncomfortable ride ever.
Give her a shadow.
I think you got her figured out now, Jeremy.
Yep. I think you need a.
Yeah, it seems to be like it's fight between using
Where did he come from?
the 5G and the Wi-Fi or something. I don't know.
So he came back.
It's all the water.
Where did you come from?
I want
all
to
that
circle
water.
back real quick. I
What
wanna
have we
circle back
learned
to,
about
Jeremy.
Jeremy's aquariums yet? Has he separated the
He was
fish?
from the beginning.
I know, but he was. Oh,
No, not yet.
No. You still got the
he was
barricade in?
like paused.
You didn't hear the announcement, Whip?
I just got back from
Starting on the 50,000 gallon Amazon.
50,000.
I just got to
Maybe
build an
entire
addition onto my
basement.
house first, and then we'll go. You know.
715 gallon aquarium.
Well, I know he was working. You were working on the Shark Tank and the whatever you're calling the thing in the back that you just built.
Yes,
You're
you
working
were.
on the two 1,200 gallons that are
Awesome.
probably right in front of you right there.
Is Jeremy in the new joint?
Yep. Yeah, the priority is the 3,000 gallon.
Yeah, trying to get those sharks moved over, right?
You've been doing that longer than him.
No, but just maybe.
You gotta remember that our microphone isn't muted anymore.
Yeah, I can hear
Nope,
you.
it's not.
We can hear you talking amongst yourselves.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, moving the sharks to the 3,000 gallon.
No. But I think.
Jeremy's frozen again. Oh,
No, it's. I mean, the
I
fish are
guess.
swimming.
I'm watching it on two different
Yeah,
screens.
that's what I always
so
look at.
up
Yeah, no.
and down.
On my screen, every once in a while, it just sort of resets everybody,
Yeah.
in the squares. What's going on?
I think it's
Oh,
just a bad connection on your end because everybody else seems to be okay.
StreamYard's been acting stupid lately
Okay,
anyway.
Yeah, Jorge said he hasn't been too active because he's rearranging the fish room. I can understand that.
Yeah,
He gets
that's
busy
what
and he
derailed
doesn't
you,
want to
right?
film.
Yes.
He
Yes,
gets
it
in the
is.
middle of it and it's too late, like we were talking about earlier. It's like you're in the middle of it or it's after the fact and like I should have filmed. I didn't because I was working on stuff.
I can't even tell you how many times I've done that where I'm like, oh, that would have been something to put up, some kind of content, and the
Mhm.
opportunities missed.
Oh well.
Hey, Whip, while I got you, what day were you thinking about with breakfast with Ben?
Well, I just need to go through last week's stream and just clip sections of it out.
Yeah, just me being an idiot. Saturday, Jeremy. Saturday morning. I don't know if you heard that or not. You froze up again.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that works with me.
Okay. I didn't want to
I hear
speak
you.
for you.
Can you hear
I
me?
didn't want to speak for Yeah, I can hear you. I didn't want to speak for you though, because I just said you might be with, and he's like, cool. He was gonna go check out your channel right away because he's like, he put sharks and then a bunch of the shocked smiley icons.
Of course, I guess it assumes how Friday night goes, but
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna
maybe
be.
maybe brunch,
I don't know when all the festivities start. Do you?
I mean, I'm coming in early just to make sure because I'll be there.
That was a cool effect.
There he goes
I like
again.
that.
Yeah.
Boom. 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 Boom.
Hey, let me disconnect and come back, see if I can fix this.
Okay.
Hey, I am not going to make fun of bad internet because I had to downgrade because I didn't have the money to keep the other one that I had. But
The StreamYard.
You should still make fun of the internet. I'd like to do that.
I know a lot of people
It happens.
don't use StreamYard because it's so expensive now. I just use the free one, so.
That's all I use.
did I thought I heard from someone that StreamYard had a recent price increase. Is that right?
It went way up. Yeah, way up. Like the bottom.
Well,
tier.
why the heck did they do that? Why did they do that?
They want more money.
Well, yeah, but come on.
We can't
they're gonna
even
lose money
live stream
overall.
straight off of the YouTube app anymore, off the mobile app.
Yeah, don't you go vertical a lot now?
Our mobile app doesn't work anymore. It doesn't matter if it's my phone or Katie's phone. On
Really?
our account, it won't work.
Huh. Because a lot of people have been switching over to that lately.
I was going to try.
Skipper said he can
Streamlabs.
come up later, Mike, if we're on here long enough.
Yeah, another 40 minutes. Then I can pick on Skipper.
That's another 40 minutes. Oof.
Yeah, I can just take clips from last week's live and make pretty good video.
That was
Actually, that does make a good video. It does.
that was fun.
You know?
Last week was fun. It was a shit day for me, but if you
Testing, testing.
yeah, way
That
better.
seems to have done it, Jeremy.
Looks better, Jeremy.
You're
looks
smooth.
better.
You're not. It's not all
Good.
herky jerky. Yeah.
Yeah, you look a lot
Get,
cuter
get,
too.
you, here, what? Say, hey.
No.
So real quick,
Yeah,
going
it's
back
got,
to that tank behind you, Jeremy, that is wall to wall, right?
Yep.
That is
The
incredible.
plan was big as I could make it.
Well, you can't get any bigger than wall to wall.
Right.
Wow.
And then you got what, the upflow
There's a lot of
filter on one end?
Yeah, it's got the big wetland upflow filter on one end and 12,000 gallons an hour going through that filter.
Hi, Cheryl.
That's what I was going to
Well,
say.
we've got
an hour.
time. Hey, we got time, Jeremy. Why don't you tell me every single fish that's in that tank, starting now? Go ahead. Go.
There's not that many in
One.
there yet.
There's really not that many, you know. You got
Really?
Orinoco, Zingu, and Fogo peacock bass. You got Oscars, Arowana, Tiger shovelnose, wide bars,
Well,
red
let me tell you-
hooks.
Let me tell you something. If I was a fish, that's the tank I'd want to be in right now. So good for you.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing is they act completely. So these fish, a lot of these fish were moved over from the 3,000 gallon, and they used to have a lot of territorial squabbles in there, and there was definitely some like certain fish could only be on one side or the other, you know, that sort of thing. And when they got moved in here, all that
Right.
went away, and it's never come back after a year. You know, it's just
That's great.
they're all good.
They are cichlids, though, so you never want to say never. But like I mean, obviously this is not even in the same ballpark, but this 200 here, they did fine for 3 years, and then they just didn't anymore. And now, as you can see, there's nothing in there anymore.
Isn't that the one you just put the new stand in?
That is the new stand, and everything is dying on me in there. I lost my big Oscar.
Oh my gosh, Webb.
Lost my red shoulder severum. I lost one of my silver dollars.
Aw.
Yeah, the only thing left in there right now is the pike, Venezuelan pike, and a convict cichlid.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
some-
I didn't
some
know
red
that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, it just happened. I was on vacation, and every time I go on vacation,
Oh.
something dies. So just the way it rolls for me. I don't know why.
Well, yeah. I
Yeah,
get
but
it.
I don't think you can actually kill a convict, though. Them things will live anywhere.
Yeah, right. You could spit in a spoon and it would live for a week.
Oh my
Pretty
gosh.
much.
That's what Jeremy's going to do with that 4,500. It's nothing going to be convicts in there.
I thought it was guppies.
Just like 2,000 convicts swimming around. They're
All
not guppies.
guppies.
Guppies. Could you imagine the guppy population? What would happen in there?
That is
Oh my
one of the things that the big tanks.
What's that?
With the big tanks, though, you definitely got to be careful of what you put in because it ain't easy to get it out. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
That's
That's
true.
almost like a 2 or 3 man job. You'd have to have one guy kind of shushing it down to the guy trying to catch it.
Well, that's what the dividers
Wow.
are for. You just move them up
Yeah,
section to
you-
section.
You can do that.
Well,
too,
yeah.
But even so, whatever those, there's 6 or 8 foot sections. I can't remember what you said.
What you got making bubbles in there, Whip?
Here,
Yeah.
that's just a sponge filter.
Is that the only one?
It's the only sponge filter I got in there, but I've got a FX6 on it. Plus, I've got the Aqua Clear 110.
Okay.
It looks terrible right now. I literally just got back and I haven't cleaned the glass in 2 weeks. And you should see this one here. You see that tank right there? That is nothing. You can barely see the fish in it. There's 6 inches of hair algae growing off the filter.
I can see the fish.
Hair algae is ugly, but it makes for happiness.
So, but this one, I don't know what's going on. This one's hazy now, and it's fish are dying left and right. I don't know what's going on. I might just shut it down and start over.
That the tank you got from Jason?
Hey, Mike, I'll be back in a sec. I'm gonna grab a laptop real quick.
That's
All right.
Well,
This
at
one
least
is
from
this
here,
one has a. It turned out that it has a leak, so I have not been able to do anything with that one yet. I have my neighbor is an ex. He was the son to his father owned a glass shop, and they know how to work
Reseal
with
them.
bigger. Yeah, I mean I could try to reseal it, but that's a lot of.
It's a lot of work. I've resealed 4 or 5 of them. It's a lot of work.
I've never done one that big. I've done the 20 gallons. You know, I'm not worried about a 20-gallon break.
I done my 240. It's the glass 240 I had. I did it, and it's a lot of work.
That's what I figured. I mean, I'm not afraid to do the work. I just want to make sure it gets done right.
Right.
Because I don't want to do the work twice. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What's up, Alex?
looks like the tank behind you, Rip. Like, you said you got the hang on back, the canister, and a spudge filter on there, but maybe it's the angle that I'm looking at. Just seems like there's a lot less surface agitation in there than there is to the tank to your left.
Yes.
Like it could use a little more.
I don't know what more I
Almost.
can. I mean, I used to have 3 hang on the backs on it and 3
Big wave maker.
I do have a wave maker. I don't know if you can see it. It's right above the bubbler. There's a wave
Might
maker.
Might move it closer to the surface, Whip.
I could try that.
You know, set it like Ben has his, put it closer to the surface so it agitates the surface a lot more.
Yeah, get that
The only reason I
surface
put it down
bubbling
is
around.
to catch dead zones. You know, that's the only
Sorry,
reason I
Alex.
keep-
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks horrible right now. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's.
Wow.
I've got this whatever this red algae is, growing like wildfire. I can't get that off. I'm going to need a jackhammer or something to get that off.
With cyano.
That's not an algae; it's a bacteria.
The red stuff is.
Cyano.
And now I got snails in there. How do you have snails that you never had snails in before? Tell me
Well, they
that.
hitchhiked in on something.
Nothing's gone in there. Nothing new's been in there.
Well, they might have been in there the whole time, but they were getting killed all the time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess that could be. Yeah, now that there's only like 3 fish in there, a fathom.
Yeah, today's Fathom's birthday too.
Yeah, he just turned 21. He can finally have
What?
Mhm.
Alex has a birthday?
Yeah, he's just a young
Yeah,
guy.
you are 1 year closer. One
He's
year
like,
closer, Alex.
he's got to be at least 19 or 20 by now, right?
He's 21. He can drink now.
Oh,
Woohoo.
good.
We're gonna drink on New Year's like we did last year. We're gonna have this live stream like we did last year. That's just like
Vibes live stream, New Year's Eve.
Whose did it end up on? Was it on Alex's when we ended up, or
Ended up on Alex's.
Oh my God,
No,
Whip,
I
you got-
won on.
Whip! You got to start training
I
for
was the
New-
last man standing last New Year's Eve.
Training for what?
training for New Year's Eve to see if you
Drinking
can
with Alex. Oh my God.
drinking with Alex and Billy.
I talked with Alex till he was snoring. I was the last man standing.
Yeah, I'll admit it. I'm an old guy. I petered out at like 3 a.m.
I'm great out the gate, but I ain't much for longevity anymore.
Time to
Got
eat.
that one big shot.
All right, come here, kitty. They gotta see you before we go.
Medication
It's time to
I'm on,
eat.
if I tried that, oof.
Katie says it's time to eat. Is
Yeah,
that
well.
right?
Well, Jorge
Time
was
to go.
I don't worry about that anymore.
Mama says so.
Yep.
Well, I don't mind because that means I get to eat.
Where are you guys out of? Are you guys out at West?
Where, Katie and I?
Yeah.
We're Wisconsin.
Oh, you're just north of me.
County folk. Northwest
They're up-
Wisconsin.
They're up there in Jeff Kane country.
Gotcha. I'm in
And
Northwest
Foxy.
Illinois.
Yeah. Foxy and Brian, Jeff Kane.
I'm in
Even
butt
Brian
crack,
go to the
California.
Kansas.
Did you go to
California is
their-
where my uncle lives.
California.
You said you were going to go eat, so I thought maybe that's where you were.
I'm in this guy over here in Kansas.
This guy. He's over by my kid. Well, you both are.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm closer though, I think.
Yeah.
But I
We're gonna
tried.
have to make some time to go traveling next year.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way.
We all need
Hey,
to meet.
Craig, you're right. Thank you.
We need to meet at Quad City or somewhere, Jake.
Thanks for chiming in, Craig. Always great to hear from you.
Or Whip needs to
Quad
go to
City
the
would be
barbecue.
cool. We haven't gotten to see the chat the whole night.
Brandon
Except
was talking
it's
about
put on screen.
Eat.
Time to eat.
Hey, there he is.
Jimmy.
You even got discus there.
Jimmy, I freaking love you, man.
Oh, he's got some beautiful discus.
I'm sorry I didn't call you.
How's the video?
Call
Better?
me anytime, Dad.
Yeah,
It's Katie's fault.
yeah, it looks good
Hey,
now, Jeremy.
I tell you what, Jake. Tomorrow, I'm just going to say, hey, I think I'll call Jake. I don't care where you're at, what you're doing. I'm just going to call you. So be ready for that.
Okay, I'll probably be in my office.
I don't care. I'm going to call you.
That's fine.
I don't care. I don't care if you're in the bathroom. I'm calling
I'll
you.
keep my phone on me all day. I've called you,
You know, more.
a few times. You haven't called. What? Have you called me yet?
He's
Katie
called
says
me.
no.
Well, I didn't
can
know we were
barely-
keeping score, but okay.
I
Well,
can barely get him to answer.
No,
a
I'm
text.
not. But you know, the
No, hey.
telephone's like a two-way
You know, I think
communication.
too many
device.
times people like Curtis. Curtis always says, you know, people know when I'm at work, blah, 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 blah. He's not going to pick up the phone if I call him, but if I text
No.
him when he's not busy, he will text me back. I think people should just do what they feel like doing, and if somebody answers,
Well,
they answer. If
every
they don't,
time
they
I call
don't.
Curtis, he
know.
answers like half a ring. Every single
Well,
time.
aren't you special? Yeah.
One
You're
time.
just reminding me what the piece of shit I am.
Woof.
All right. Thank you guys for
No,
having
Curtis.
us on
I know
your
exactly
mic.
what Curtis means because the guy works. He's at work. I get it.
Yeah, it's a lot better now,
anyway.
Jeremy.
Back to Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm on the other
Jeremy,
side of the
all
page.
that greenery
That
above
Jeremy
that.
guy
Take care of yourself.
that's over here on the other side.
All that
of
greenery above the tank, Jeremy, that's all growing out of the tank?
We have to go.
Yeah, it's all water lettuce.
Thank you, Mike.
My gosh.
Yep.
I like when you
Anytime, Jake.
Incredible.
you pulled it all out of that filter, and then like a week later, it was back.
And that's no joke either. I mean, it came back that quick. It was crazy.
Yeah, like you harvested a lawn and leaf bag full of it, and the next week you had that much back.
Back when the 3,000 gallon was freshwater, I bought a little plastic cup of red root floaters from Garden of Eden at the Clash.
Yeah.
And I lit up one part of the sump and I just put it in there. And then I sort of forgot about it. And then whatever, a month later, there was red roots. The reason I noticed it is because it was growing up and like creeping out, like just growing out the top, out the side and everything. It was gone crazy. I was telling that I need to find a way to get it back to him so he can redistribute it because there's so much of it. Grant.
Oh, Grant.
Yeah. He said just put it in a big giant bag and send it to me.
Well, he'd find a place for it.
I just figured we'd get killed like in the mail, just being all squishy. I don't know. But every time I've ever tried to send floating stuff, it's never been pretty, Yeah. It just comes there, it's mush,
Your record at sending things in egg form
Alex.
isn't so great either.
Yeah, and actually, the whole shark egg thing in the next video comes to there's a conclusion in the next video of all of that. So
I'll be looking.
I candled every egg yesterday, and
Oh no!
no, candled. So lit them up inside and be 100%.
Oh,
Some of them I had to scrape, so that I could see through. So there was some were bad and some actually had sharks, but the problem is originally as the eggs would get laid, I would put them in separate containers and I would mark when they were laid so I could have an idea of, when they should hatch. And then if they didn't hatch, I could intervene, because the problem is you can't just intervene if they're, halfway through their cycle, and it gets to a point where sometimes it's hard when you're looking through the casing to see if their yolk if it's their yolk or if it's their body. It's kind of pressed up in there. So unfortunately, out of the 12 eggs, 10 of them were just bad. It was just a white liquid in there. 2 of them had baby sharks who'd eaten all the way through their egg, all the way through their yolk, and just for whatever reason didn't get their way out of the egg. And I cut them out, but they were, still living, so.
Wow.
And it was kind of, I don't know if it was just what, but like, I was doing this around midnight last night, and I just saw these, these 2 little baby sharks just stillborn, and like, I'm thinking like I need, I'm supposed to take the camera to film this for the video, but I was just like, I don't want to film this, it just felt exploitative to me. So it just,
Yeah, I would.
it just felt weird, man. It's something just seeing the fully formed little baby, it's just like, it's frustrating because if the big sharks had mixed up all the eggs, I would have known when they were due, and then I could have intervened sooner, And as far as I can tell, that would have saved those 2 sharks. So pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
But
now you have this other system you're working on. So
yeah, and I'm going to keep that system running until the estuary is 100% ready. So if there's any more eggs, I'm grabbing them immediately. I'm putting them in there. I'll know where they're at, and it'll be fine, right? So. But the initial thing,
Right.
I didn't have plans for it, so it was sort of reactionary. So. But the eggs that I sent out, I had candled them, and they definitely had sharks in them. That was the annoying part, because there was a couple eggs early on that you could see that they were bad, but the ones I set out, they did have baby sharks. They were.
yeah, and those are the ones that you got screwed by the post office.
Well, especially the one where they held them for 2.5 months and then cut it open and then had the balls to just send the cut open eggs,
Right.
The only reason I'm glad they did that is because I sent the guy a T-shirt and a towel, so the stickers, so at least they got that stuff, So. But
that's Epto. I mean,
What's up, Joe?
That's Epto. Get out of the way, dog. Jimmy, I'm gonna have to send you one of these dogs.
What's that?
Dogs.
Just one of them?
Just one. That's all you get.
Yeah, I'll send you all three. They come as a package.
Well, gee, Curtis, you know I don't have enough animals around here.
You know, they could all audition for the Three Stooges. So.
Let's send Curtis this cat.
Oh Lord. I need Jeremy's cat. That's the one I need that just kind of wanders around and warns him about some stuff. My cats make stuff happen.
Actually, every cat I've ever had, they're good at like pulling, like getting your attention to bringing you to something, you know.
Ah, yeah.
Mine are good at telling me they're hungry. That's the only help I get out of them at all.
When I first moved into this house, there was I came home from work one night. I had a boy cat back then who was kind of at the end of his life. And man, he met me at the door and he was just like making all these sounds, dragging me downstairs. and there was like it was huge. I mean, it was somewhere between 6.5 and 8 foot black snake in the basement. And that cat was like, he went right up to him. He's like, oh, look at that. I was like, holy shit.
Had he killed it, or was it he was just letting you know where it was?
No, he couldn't kill that thing. I think it was huge. Yeah, he was just letting me know where it was. He's making this really weird sound, like not a meow, but just something. But that snake, I had to wrestle with that thing for about 20 minutes to wear its ass out because it saw me. I grabbed its tail and it wrapped the basement wasn't finished then, and there was a pipe, and it wrapped itself around the pipe, and I just had to sit there and just keep constant pressure by like just holding him tight and leaning my body back, so he had to hold up my weight, you know. And he eventually just got weaker and weaker and weaker. So I got him out of there and got his head and put him in a bucket, you know. And it was like all I could do to get him in a 5-gallon bucket. He filled up the whole friggin' thing, you know. And then took his ass outside, you know.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
Needless to say, that weekend I went around to try to figure out how he got in, and I found all the spots, you know, and sealed them up. So.
Yeah.
The funniest part about it is the house. I bought my house from my next door neighbor. So, and at that time he was still alive. And I went over and I talked to him about that. And he's like, "Oh yeah. He comes in the wintertime." I'm like, "You know about it?" He's like, "Yeah. You don't have to worry about mice or anything." I'm like, "That's a big ass snake." I was like, "Is he?" He basically punched a hole for like the exhaust for like the dryer, and he didn't do the proper way of the thing on each side where you bolt it, and he just kind of had the thing punched out, you know. And I said that's where I think it's coming in, and he's like, "Yeah, I think he's coming in there too," you know. So I was like, "All right, well, that's he's no longer welcome in this house." So.
That's like a guy that was doing crawled under my brother's house. They were fixing some of the AC or running new AC lines or the ducting. And he was coming back and he says, "Oh, you ought to see the snake skin that's here by the opening." He goes, "Oh, that's nothing. You ought to see this one back here. It makes that one look like a baby." "Where's the snake at?" "I don't know. It's here somewhere." And it was about a 3.5, 4 foot long black snake that was under there with him.
Yeah, I learned a lot about snakes that first time moving in because after I evicted him and patched the holes, outside of my house, when I'd be doing stuff, I kept running into these big black snakes, like pretty frequently. I was like, "Where are these things freaking coming from?" You know. And so the research, because that was like a big 8-foot male, they basically the research I did said that he's kind of a big mambo jumbo. He would leave a big chemical trail, and he was attracting all the females to mate with him and everything. And it said it could take up to 2 years for that chemical trail to go away. And they nailed it because for about 2 years, I'd still run into them all the time outside, you know? And then about after that, they just sort of disappeared. And it's been 10 years since then, right? And they've never come back or anything. It's, you know.
Craziest thing I seen, my brother and them went on a rattlesnake hunt. they were actually hunting the dang things. And there's some of them guys that he was with, they'd go up there and distract the snake a little bit, grab it by its tail, and then smack its head on a rock.
Mhm.
Like, you guys are nuts.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what
I mean,
that's what guns are for.
yeah. I mean, the
Yeah.
black snakes are good. They serve a purpose here and everything, but not inside my house.
It's bad enough in my big pond. I got to deal with freaking water moccasins.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah,
I'll
those are the
deal with
worst.
black snake every day and Sunday, but water
Hang on.
moccasin. Okay.
Oh, they'll come in the boat with you. We've had them try to actually get in the dang boat with us.
Yeah. Remind me not to go to your pond, Mike.
Oh, well, we've took care of most of them, Curtis. Now, if we see them, we just shoot them.
I'm sure when I get to your house, you'll have a special one for me.
Oh, we'll have the alligator snappers.
Nah.
There's one up there it's probably got to be at least 1.5 feet, 2 foot across. He's a big one.
Yeah, I'll pass.
But yeah, we were out in the boat that one day, and we had a water moccasin that fell out of a tree, and then it was swimming across the top of the water, headed straight for us. No, I don't think so.
That reminds me, we were golfing. It's a par 3 hole, not very long. We're standing under this tree, and a bull snake fell out of this freaking tree. You want to talk about throwing your clubs and whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Is. About a 6-foot bull snake. Boom! That's like, wow! Where'd that thing go?
You have my attention, sir.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. You can completely move off the course now.
Now, are you moving the discus, Jeremy, or are you going to leave them there?
No, they're saying this is their permanent home. Yeah. If anything, I might add some more. Like that 12-foot tank in the annex. I don't know what I'm putting in there yet, but that's a possible another discus aquarium.
Are you putting the eel in the sump area, or are you going to leave him where he is?
Oh, he's got to be moved because the current 1500 system there that's solved, that's going to go fresh.
Oh yeah, then he's
But, yeah. And there's going to be one more salt tank that isn't built yet. It's where the tank I built just for that video series on how to build a tank. I've been using that as a grow out tank since then. But at some point, I'm going to take that down and I'm going to put one more salt tank there. And I think that's going to be that eel's permanent home. He just doesn't grow big enough to ever live with the sharks and stuff because he's already max size and he's like 20 inches, It's just, and he's kind of slender,
not
So-
a bodied fish.
Yeah, the only thing I can keep with the sharks would be something like a green moray or a teslata or something bigger like that,
Mm-hmm.
The snowflake and the jewel and all that. Just don't get big enough.
What
hang
was,
with
was that a green that Rod had back when he was in Florida? That gigantic thing that he had?
Probably, yeah. Well, he actually had a green moray and a teslata eel in the 5,000 pond.
The
That one
yeah.
Yeah, that round pond he sold to Paul Cafaro. That used to be in Predatory Fins shop.
Mhm.
He had like a nurse shark in there and bunch of stuff. But, yeah.
For some reason, I can see you having a salt tank with a giant red Volusian lionfish.
With a giant what?
Red Volusian lionfish.
Lion?
A lion.
Volusian lionfish.
I don't even know what that is.
That's the big one.
Yeah, it's kind of like the most common one, the one that gets real big.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's just going nuts down in Florida?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like I never attracted to that fish. Like the way the fins are and everything.
Really?
I always like more solid looking, you know. Like I like any. I don't like any long fin fish of any type. Like none of them. They all bother me.
So you don't like Jimmy? You know, if he picks his arm up, that that's not dang it.
I'll probably be safe with no comment on that one.
Waves twice.
Okay.
Wow.
I had to do something.
Jimmy's like, what is
You
it?
like
This
that
guy?
one, huh, Whip?
Jimmy's like, this guy's all over my ass. Then he sends me a, I'm sorry text. Now he's over my ass again.
Oh, yeah.
I've been,
He'll apologize again later. He will.
Well, like I said, he apologized to you
All
and
right.
me
All
as
good.
well. And I'm like, I ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
yeah, I did text you.
I'm
too.
not
I was
either.
Like, I don't
My
know.
God.
I didn't rewatch it. I just knew I was pretty. I mean, I.
Oh no, that was a fun stream, Rick.
No.
That was a fun stream.
You were
that was
mild
a good one.
compared to some, Whip. My God.
Yeah,
I don't know what was funnier, the chat or the stream. The
both.
chat,
Oh, was
chat
the chat?
was just as good as the stream.
Oh, please stop! You're making my guts. No, don't stop.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then we had Jeremy in the chat too. That was laying it in there too. So
Really,
Yeah.
you were in the chat that day?
yeah,
Yeah.
You were? Oh, yeah.
I was not paying attention, or if I did, I don't remember it because I was a bottle or two in by then.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you found like an umbrella in your hair, you know, from a drink earlier in the day.
I have no memory.
You had your Speedo on.
I think I woke up fully dressed, so that tells you anything.
and an umbrella behind each ear.
You're right. Aren't you pretty?
Yeah, I tell you what, based on what Jeremy was throwing at me last week, you know, I think we should do a recreation of the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight, Jeremy. Me and you.
Oh
What do you think?
no! Oh no!
You and Jeremy?
That fight was a joke.
Yeah.
Have you actually met Jeremy?
Hey, I can run around. I can run around. I can move.
That
Well, we
fight
figured
was
that's like nothing would really happen anyways, right?
not much happened in that fight.
Yeah, there's a no contact
that's what I'm
clause
saying.
from what I heard, you know. Jimmy and I just
knockout
this
clause.
each other as we back up, you know.
No knockout clause.
Look like a no
Yeah, I was
contact
waiting
clause.
for something. I was waiting for something to happen, and it.
No, I was
never
hoping
did.
Tyson would knock him out in 90 seconds, but yeah,
Well,
that didn't happen.
did you see the difference between his
His
workout-
training,
Yeah,
his training and the fight, yeah,
I'm like,
it was like
what's
completely
happening?
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch that obviously, but I just caught a little clip on YouTube after the fact, and I watched about 5 seconds of what looked like slow motion shadow boxing, and then just moved on to the next video.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
you could tell Tyson was holding back. You could
It was
tell.
so slow. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
this had been Tyson of, when he was 21 or 22 years old, he'd already tore his head off and gone about his business.
Well, sure, but I mean that was the
Yeah.
kind of the point. I mean,
But
Even
Webb,
if he should've.
have you heard who Jake Paul's wanting to call out now?
no.
Conor
Yeah, I read that
McGregor.
today.
Who?
Yeah.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, that'd be good for his health.
I don't know. If
He
that
wants
was
to call Conor
or not.
McGregor. He wants Conor McGregor for his next one.
Connor's not that big a dude,
No, but Conor is a mean son of a gun.
right? But I mean, you saw his last couple fights, right? I mean, I don't know.
Right.
Got it.
But compared to Jake Paul, he would tear Jake's head off.
Well, I thought that about Tyson.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they
I mean-
made
That
made
was a
Tyson made $20 million on that.
that was a Netflix payday. That's all that was.
Yeah.
That was
Well-
a money grab.
did you hear the contract? As soon as I heard the terms of the contract, I knew there was no knockouts because they were paid by round. So you only made the big money if it went all the way, which means okay.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Well, that
Yeah,
explains it.
I
That's
didn't
what
know that
Tyson-
either.
Yeah, so
Wow.
and that they actually, because of whatever, they actually had to publish that stuff. It's publicly accessible. It's legitimate. Tyson was, roughly $2 million a round plus a bonus for going all around to make it 20 mil at the end. So it was,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I mean, his training, he was basically the old Tyson.
Yeah, they need
Yeah,
to
I'm
do.
telling you.
They need
In
to
slow
do,
motion.
they need to do like that one Rocky movie where they meet in the street and just fight.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
I would pay money for that.
Yep.
The thing is, like, the old Tyson could have beat that Tyson and the other guy
Jake Paul.
at the same time, like in about 35 seconds.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, especially the one
Yeah.
where he just got out of prison and his first match back. Yeah, he would have tore them both up.
Oh man.
oh, yeah, I mean, Jake Paul. Is that, which Paul brother is the one that fought?
Jake.
Jake, okay.
That was Jake. Yeah.
The other one's a joke too.
I don't
Yeah.
even know the other one.
They gave him that belt when he was a wrestler. They basically handed him that belt. And he never defended it. And then when he did defend it, he got his ass beat.
Mr. Myers is here.
The Maniac.
Michael Myers. Yeah, that fight was.
I'm
Good
glad
thing I
didn't
already
pay
had-
for it.
Well, it's a
I'm glad
good thing I already had Netflix, so I didn't have to pay for it.
Right. Yeah. If I had gone, because what's his name? Metalhead Prime. Josh bought Netflix just to see the fight, and I'm like, ouch. That's gonna sting.
Yeah. There's a
Hopefully,
deal,
finds a good movie or two to watch on there to make up for it.
Yeah, right.
right?
Yeah.
And on
Adele. Hey, Adele.
on YouTube you can find almost anything.
Oh yeah.
Almost all the NFL games, college games are all somebody's broadcasting a
But
live.
they were
They
not
were-
ready. They were not
Actually-
ready for any kind of real.
You want a little trick for finding copyright live events on YouTube?
Sure.
Take the name of the event, put it in Google
Yeah.
Translate, and translate it to Russian or Chinese, and then paste that into Google search or YouTube search, and you'll see the live stream in that. Now it's going to be in that like if there's some dubbing or something, it'll be in that language. Like if there's a commentary or something, but you can just mute it, whatever, and you'll see it.
Right.
But if it's a real live event here, you'll just see whatever there. So sometimes they'll do some stupid overdubs, but
Sure.
for their audience, but it works. Obviously, it's Spanish too, but the Spanish ones actually get shut down, just like the English ones do. Even for like
So
live college football and stuff, but that's why they'll choose those other languages, and it's never failed me. Any big event, I've always been able to find it on there doing that.
Do like Chinese or Dutch or German.
Yeah, Chinese and Russian always seem to be the two. Chinese first, and it'll be totally hack stream or like copyrighted stream on YouTube, whatever, and they won't get shut down. The ones in English and Spanish will get shut down a lot, like NFL games, college football games. If you do it in Spanish, it'll be there for a while, but then eventually they'll terminate the stream. But I've never seen the Chinese ones terminated ever.
A lot
And for
of
some
them,
reason, a lot of them are in Russian, or they do in Russian too. For some reason,
a lot of them disappear at each quarter.
exactly.
So if you just research it, you'll find somebody else that's got the next quarter.
Oh yeah, totally. You just rotate it, like just search again. You'll find another one pops up. It's like whack-a-mole, but
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
'cause I don't have like well, I don't know. My wife has Netflix, but I'm too lazy to like log in her account to even bother with it. Just I can find it on YouTube.
Yep. I'll try that next time we got one on lunch.
It's never failed me. I mean,
Interesting.
There's also a lot of other stuff you'll find that way if you're if you're so
Right.
so inclined, as you can imagine. Oh, geez.
Watch your mouth,
Here he
Jimmy.
Hey,
What's up, Jeremy Whip? Jimmy Curtis is probably going to pee. And hello.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great to see
Skipper.
you, Skip. Great to see you.
Hey, listen, I got to tell you something.
Dang, that's a skipper, dude.
Uh oh.
this guy right up here, right? This guy.
Aquarium Domain's tanks are freaking amazing in person. I'm going to tell you this right now.
He let you in his
I
house.
bet they are.
Yeah, he
I
did.
bet they are.
Skip's
Not
the
on
first
purpose.
person to swim all the way from one side of the 4,500 to the other and back, holding his breath. I didn't think he could do it, but he did. He even took a nip from a peacock bass and it kept going.
Skipper snuck
Oh
in
man,
just
I'd have
like
paid
that
money to
snake
see
did.
that.
It's in the next video, Jimmy.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, my.
So you had the pleasure of being there in person, huh, Skip?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what the stuff this man's doing. You guys have no idea how awesome it looks. I'm sure he'll do an update later, but we went to a fish store. Is it called the House of Tropicals?
Yeah.
Listen, that place is freaking amazing. I didn't want to leave. There was so much stuff there, it wasn't even funny, and I just kept looking and looking, and I was like, more tanks, more tanks. I need to not. The only thing I bought was plants. That was it.
You bought
We
plants,
bought
yeah.
those last night.
Well, yeah, I did that too, but no. When Jeremy took me over there, that's all I bought.
Well, that's great. That's great.
But yeah, no, his hospitality was great. He's a good dude. I'm gonna tell you, y'all, if you ain't subscribed to his channel, there's something wrong with you. 'Cause he does some pretty amazing things. And the stuff that
Definitely.
he's having, what he has coming up in the future, yeah, you got to watch it. It's pretty awesome, I think.
Next time, we got to make a weekend out of it, Skip. That day went by like freaking lightning fast,
Yeah, it did.
It's like,
Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah, you should.
We did what? We just hung out. I mean, I started helping them with something. We started working on something, and then we just started hanging out again. Bull crapping and forgot. I said, "Damn, dude, it's getting dark. I gotta go." It went by too quick.
Yeah.
It went by way too quick.
How far a drive is that for you, Jimmy? 2-3 hours?
2-3 days.
Hey, if I
Luckily-
could, I would. Believe me, I would.
Luckily, he's only an hour and a half, I think, 2 hours.
yeah, Skip and I aren't too far apart.
Yeah.
So
It's- it was
Miss
a hell of
Lori
a
must
drive.
be pretty close to you guys too, then, right? If she's going to the same pet store or fish store.
Yeah, she and so's Big Steve. Color Guppies is actually,
Yeah, I know Big Steve's pretty close by. Ross Baltimore is close.
Yep.
He's real close. He's in Rockville, so that's like 20 minutes.
Yeah, like you could do a heck of a meetup down there for real with people. And then Color Guppies is literally right up the road from them in Frederick, which what 10 minutes maybe, depending upon traffic.
Well,
Yeah, it depends where you're at.
He's on the southern side, I think. Yeah,
Who's this?
Color Guppies, Vinay.
Oh, man, where's he been? I haven't seen him in ever. It's been at
Working.
least a year.
He's just been working.
yeah, that'll do it.
No, actually, I want a 125 now. It's his fault. Because the 125 he has, like, man, that's pretty cool. And what's the size of the one that you're sitting behind you right now, Jeremy?
220.
Yeah, that freaking thing's awesome too.
That's the
Hey,
same.
Mike, just in case, I can't really read the screen; it's too small. I just have a phone right here, so if anything is for me, just let me know. I can't really tell.
Just
If it's common.
Oh, they're just calling you names. They're
yeah.
just calling you names, Jeremy.
Only
Well,
Oscar
that's
about
says
it.
she never watches you. She doesn't like your big tanks or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you, yeah. No.
Oh,
But Monster
there's somebody
Fish
saying
Gal
I hate
only-
Jeremy. Oh my gosh.
Monster Fish Gal only lives 25 minutes away from there. The House
Yeah.
of Tropicals.
She made sure we saw that. She went full. She went full Garcia on us there.
I was going to say Aquafunk, but
Or Funk, yeah.
Oh,
June says, I watch Aquarium Domain. I love the big monster tanks with Oscars.
Well, what a surprise that is, huh?
yeah.
Oh, listen,
Yeah,
that
right.
Oscar,
Yeah, right. There's a big shocker.
he'll correct me if I'm
Wow.
wrong, but that wild type Oscar that he has is freaking huge. I ain't never seen an Oscar that big.
Biggest one I've ever had.
But look at the room it's got to swim around in too.
Yeah, but still, I ain't never seen an Oscar that big.
The one I just lost was I don't know if it compares to what you got there, Jeremy, but I mean that thing was I would say at least 15 or 16 inches. This one that I just lost, it was far and away the biggest Oscar I've ever had. And for it to just to kick like that, it doesn't make any sense. But whatever, we'll figure that out later.
You know, I think I saw one time on there's a channel called Bama Bass. He's like a fishing channel. He built a pond or a lake or whatever, 5-acre lake in his house. I think there's a fishing app where you can take a photograph of the fish and somehow it can determine the size based on photographs. They send you something that you have in the photograph with the fish, and it can use the scale of that thing to determine the size of the fish.
Mm-hmm.
I need to try that because I try to get a tape up there to measure stuff, but it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
But-
I could
Because I know that when I moved that
I
Oscar,
wasn't here.
when I moved that Oscar over, he was 16 inches. I'm not sure if he grew any more or not,
Oh, he bigger than 16.
but he's
That's a big fish.
No,
he's a freak. Like if you've kept Oscars, I've kept Oscars my whole life. He's a freak. I've never had one like his size, you know. And his shape is all good. Sometimes I've seen Oscars that get really big, but they get really, really tall and kind of distorted, like their back. He's not like that. He looks just like he did from day one, just larger. You know?
and he's
Yeah, Fathom says iPhone has a litter-based measuring system in the camera.
Oh.
I got a Samsung Android, so no luck on that one.
Right.
I
We like to keep
wonder
it
what
simple.
Hey, Lori.
wonder what Alex has been measuring with that app.
Hey, Craig.
Always taking it there, you know.
It's the creepy old man joke. You can't help it.
I can say
Oh,
something, but
my
I
God.
won't. You know.
Oh,
Some
I
things
do.
never
yeah,
change.
good. Let me say it. I'll say it.
Kind of opens himself up to the.
Oh,
So, how much time have you been thinking about Alex's? Never mind.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, you know, hey, Jeremy, I get lonely here sometimes.
get lonely. Oh my god.
You got cats, right?
Wow.
That's what the story we're going with, huh?
Oh, now see, June took it right there. June, yep, see?
Heads inches.
Your poor husband, June. My gosh.
I'm like sitting here looking around, and Skipper, you remember all the bags of salt, marine salt everywhere, like piles of marine salt. Look everywhere.
It ain't 5 bags, okay? He might as well had a damn shipping crate there, okay? That's what it seemed like.
There's just piles of marine bags, buckets, boxes everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It was crazy.
When Pirate Bay 3000 goes online, and then the 1800 system has to be drained and filled back up with new salt water. I have to make between 8,000 and 9,000 gallons of salt water kind of at one
Holy
time.
crap.
Whoa.
And what that looks like in terms of bags, boxes, and buckets is insane. It just mounts. I have it upstairs too. I got to clear it out before Thanksgiving. In my dining room, there's like I don't know, a couple 1,000 pounds of salt just stacked up against the wall.
Well, of course, everybody does that.
Yeah, I'd be living in the damn garage.
I've been taking heat for that for months. Like, when are you going to move that stuff? You know, like, I'll move it before Thanksgiving, and it's like, damn it, that's next week, man.
Yeah. You're running out of time quick.
Yeah.
I finally got to really move it, you know.
It's too bad that the Coralife salt years ago when I had my saltwater tank, you always got something in the bucket. You buy a 5-gallon bucket, you got a shirt, you got a book, you got something.
Yeah.
You'd be rolling right now in shirts and books.
You know how many of those shirts I have?
I have like 4 or 5 of them right now.
Yeah, I mean, I have a ton of them.
Yeah.
If anyone wants one of those, it's Instant Ocean.
Instant Ocean, yeah.
Yeah, who owns Instant Ocean? Like Marine Land or somebody?
Coralife does.
Well, shit. Here, let me go grab one. I got a stack of them. I'll be right back.
Yeah. They used to give something in every bucket. 50 mix, you got something in every
Oh, is that right?
So you're talking about like when you got a bucket of salt mix, you got a T-shirt.
You got a T-shirt, you got a book, you got a hydrometer, you got
Refractometer.
Really?
refractometer.
Really?
Oh my God.
It was just like, here's your bucket of salt and here's your free prize.
Yeah, every bucket of salt comes with one of these shirts in it. I got like 30 of these things.
What size are they?
This one's XL.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
You get a free
It's got like a jellyfish, and on the back it's got a clownfish.
Oh, those are pretty neat, though.
Yeah.
They're all different
Yeah.
too. Like some of them, like I said, they're all different. But I got stacks of them.
Every time I ordered, I got something different.
Jeremy's got the whole set.
I got
Oh, right here it is, right there.
Yeah, he's got the set. All right.
Instant Ocean.
I
That's
got
what.
I got the Julian Sprung book out of that bucket one time.
Damn.
That book was like $30 in
It's like-
1990 or whenever. It was.
Yeah, I had that over there. That was when he first did that outside marine pond.
Yeah,
I was fascinated by that thing.
yeah, that thing is nuts.
I was telling Skipper I was thinking about doing a cold water marine pond in my sunroom in the upstairs.
Yeah, that pond's awesome. I would love to have one of them.
That koi pond?
Yeah.
Yeah, right now it's a koi pond in there, but I had an equipment failure. I was out of town for literally 24 hours in August for just a short little trip, and the GFI flipped, the one that ran all the pumps and everything for the koi pond, and it was really hot that day, and there was no oxygen, and like 6 of my real big koi that I've had for like 20 plus years, they died. They suffocated.
Yeah,
I still have
lost
about
2 big ones.
8 or 10 koi in there. That only 2 are left from my original ones. They go back all the way 20 years, but they were monsters. I mean, I told Skip when I pulled them out of there, they were heavy. I mean, really heavy, and they were really tall. Really humongous. Like 6 of them filled up, was overflowing out of a wheelbarrow, like a commercial sized wheelbarrow. That's how freaking big they were. They're enormous. But
Yeah,
Mine weren't that big.
I never had a gut punch like that, because those are the fish that like would eat out of everyone's hand. The ones that my wife actually cares about, because they're like water dogs, and
Yeah.
Like they were the only ones allowed upstairs, and they were more than they weren't really even my fish. They were like everyone's fish. You know what I mean? Like the dog used to like to go out there in the morning, to like interact with them and stuff. And I never even like she would feed them and stuff. Not even me. And we came back, and I was just like, oh my god, just it. So I mean, I still have the fish that are in it. The koi are still there and everything, but like Skipper saw, like I just have aeration going in there because it's kind of the off season. They're not being fed now and everything, and I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do. I got to do something to. It can't just be that one little thing can just take them out. It's too bitty.
Yeah, I lost 2 in
Hey,
there.
Jeremy, I
in
got
my mom's pond. We don't know what happened with them. They were fine when she fed them that morning. Come home that afternoon, they were belly up.
That same equipment had been running because I had that pond running here well before anything else. It was the first thing when I moved in here. So like 12 years it's been running, no problems. The GFI flip, that happened. I reset the GFI and it's been running ever since, no problems. Other than I didn't plug one of the pumps back in, but
Do you think maybe that one pump might be messed up?
yeah, I mean that's my thought. Yeah, it's a JBO, so you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I guess when you get those pumps, but
Well, I mean, shit happens, right? And equipment failure sucks.
But the thing is, the
Yes,
screwed
it
up
does.
thing is, any goddamn day if that had happened, somebody would have been here. It would have only been off for a matter of hours,
And they would have been fine.
Yeah, it was the one day that I was out of town. I literally left on a Friday night and came back on a Sunday morning, and it was just like that. And everybody, the whole family went, right? So there was just nobody here for that short amount of time. And that's when it happens. And there was no event. There was no thunderstorms. There was no, the power didn't go out. Just one GFI breaker flipped, and that happened. It's just bizarre. It's like Whipstead. Anytime you go out of town, like I'm getting ready to go to the OCAs this week, I'm terrified. I'm going around my thing trying to like foolproof, dummy-proof everything, Like I want to do some water changes on Monday so that I have Tuesday and Wednesday to monitor everything and get it all good, And I got a big battery backup. I'm going to bring it down here, hook up extra air pumps, just throw air stones and everything separate from the powered system, just in case, It's like.
Because I'm with you. You got I'm the same way. It seems like whenever I go on a trip, there was just one time I'll never forget it, and I felt bad. One of the true Siamese algae eaters aged out, and I knew they were getting older. It was like one of them things any given time, but it was crazy because a person was washing her house. She goes, "One of your fish are dead. I just want to let you know it wasn't me." I said, "I know. It's okay. I know they were older fish." But then there was a time, luckily, whenever my power strip malfunction happened, no, I wasn't around for that neither. So I lost a lot of fish. It seems like whenever you want to go do something, something's going to happen. I don't care if it's just a guppy dying. It's just weird. I don't get it.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like to do any travel in January or February. 'Cause that's like the only time where I live. It could get cold enough that if the power went out for significant amount of time, that it could, get cold in the basement. Because I don't heat tanks; I heat the space, right? So, and I have a backup system with K1 kerosene to heat it if there's a power failure. But I have to be here to turn that on. It's not automatic. So. Because most of the time, just throwing air in tanks, even the power went out because I have the big battery. It's like a giant battery you can plug solar panels into, and it'll run a whole crap load of air pumps for like weeks. It's like 2,000 watt hours. Which for air pumps is a lot. So if that's running and the temperature's fine, then they'll be fine. But where I live, you'll get a week or two, or maybe a month, whatever. It depends on from year to year, but where it could get pretty cold.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm going to be rolling the dice in January because we're taking kids on a Disney cruise. That's their Christmas present. But then a week later, I'm going down to Florida, so I'm rolling dice in 2 weeks. I'm nervous. It's the only time that we can go, like, because my wife's where she works is these months coming up, and it's like, man, what I would love to get is one of them generators you can run your whole freaking house with. And
I have one. Mine runs off natural gas.
Yep, that's exactly what I get, and I'm like,
Big Generac.
yeah, that type. Yep, yeah. I want to do that, but it's like, ugh.
That or a
Yeah, it's pricey.
So
Mine was here.
Generac-
Mine was here when I moved here, so
Oh, lucky you.
yeah, it was here when we moved here, and we've used it a few times. It always scares me that something's going to go wrong with something be wrong with the engine. You know, the power go out and it don't start.
I mean, that would be something like that for that system. I mean, I would do it myself, but if you are not able to do it yourself, that would be something that I would get looked at once a year.
Oh, I do.
The new Kohler one comes on once a month.
Yeah, I think the Generacs do that too. They once a month, or actually once a week, they turn on and do a test.
Yeah, and they run.
That must be what mine does, because I've heard it running sometimes.
And then it sends you like an email of the results. So
Yeah, mine don't do that.
Yeah, I believe they turn on and they run for 10 or 15 minutes, or somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes once a week.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my long-term thing. Is I've got so many projects eating up money, but eventually I want to have a propane-powered, Generac.
That's
Yeah,
the way you
I definitely would. I've always thought about like having a gas one or whatever, but you can have problems with the carburetor, right? So propane's definitely the way to go.
Yes.
Propane will store indefinitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't have natural gas run to my house, so
You just get a 100-pound
Yeah.
tank.
yeah.
Just get a
Yeah,
100-pound tank.
You put
Because
that on a 1,000-gallon tank and it'll last a long time.
well,
yeah.
so here in Pennsylvania, that can be an issue because you have to call somebody to come in and fill it up, and then they want you to get on this contract or whatever, so you get the lower price. But if you have a 100-pound tank, you can load that up in the back of your truck and take it somewhere to get filled up, and it's way cheaper. Or just get 2 of them, whatever. To me, that would be the way I would do it, so I can, not have to.
I've got I've got 2 100-pound bottles out there in my garage.
Yeah. That's the way I would do it.
That we run a space heater off of.
Go.
And they last a long time too when they're running.
Oh yeah.
Because I wouldn't get what is that company? It's like Suburban or something like that. Anyways, one of them propane companies, they're wanting to charge you out the butt for it.
I think I showed it to Skip. My problem is I've added 150 amp service to the two. So originally this house had 200 amp service, and now it has 350. So
you're going to need a commercial grade one.
Yeah, I added 2 sub panels since I've been here, and we had to increase the line. So it's kind of tricky with the mapping the circuits.
Jeremy's going to need his own substation out in the yard.
Well, I told Rico I tried to get because I have a lot of land, so I tried to get a large solar array, but none of the companies that do solar would sell it to me because they're not interested in doing. They have basically the state of Maryland and the county I live in. They have a subsidy, but it's based on the square footage of the roof of your house. And so for the square footage of the roof of my house, they would only subsidy like up to like a 8K system, 8 kilowatt system, and I wanted a 26 kilowatt system. And even without the subsidy, the company had no interest in selling it to me and installing it because they weren't going to get the kickbacks from the state, everything for most of it. So they had other customers that they could get the full thing, and they just basically said no, just like, oh, or do it all yourself kind of thing. But
Big wind generator.
Interesting.
With that,
Interesting.
would that cover your, like, would that, you said 28 kilowatts or whatever?
yeah,
That
26.
Would that cover
Yeah,
like roof, or would you have to add something in the yard?
No, I didn't want to put any of it on my roof. I wanted all of it to be ground mount.
Like your front yard would be perfect. That
Oh,
one area.
Yeah, like, do you know, like, where my yard kind of hits the garden at my neighbor's house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to put it over there. That way it's not kind of like my front yard that I deal with. It's off to the side over there.
Yeah.
And but it's behind his garage. He's got like a detached garage. And
you're not going to be looking at it every morning.
yeah, and I would talk to him. Like, I would probably put in a mound and put some trees, if he wants a site block for it, And then for me, it wouldn't be in the field of view either. It's kind of off out of sight, out of mind for everybody.
Yeah.
But it's also closer to where power service comes into my house, where the panel is. Because the panel's in the bottom corner of the house, closest to that. So. And then the thing is when it comes to the backup batteries, I've got all the room in the world, right? I can put in a whole shed just full of batteries.
Oh, yeah,
I don't have to buy expensive Tesla power walls and stuff. I can go get giant commercial batteries and just shove them in that shed, and have a huge amount of capacity.
Oh, yeah.
And then if I did that, I don't have to map every circuit in my house. I can basically run new lines into my house and just have some of the lines are just grid and some of the lines are off that system,
Well, you just put them switches in.
Well, that's the thing is if you put a transfer switch in, you have to bring the county in and all that stuff, And for me, because my house was built in '73 originally, and they don't know about all the things I've done to it. Like, if I bring them in here, they have to upgrade the outside part. So it would kind of open up a can of worms. But as far as the county knows, this is the regular house inside.
Well, yeah, no, I get that. Like when I redid, I had a 100 amp service when I moved in this house. So it was like the upstairs was on one breaker. The whole second floor was on one breaker. And I was like, oh no, we can't have this. I couldn't run 2 air conditioners up there. I could only run 1. And I was like, no. So anyways, I got 200 amp service put in, and I knew a guy that did that stuff. I said, come over, I'll pay you. I'll have everything ready for you to go. So he comes over, and the only thing that, at least up here, was the inspector came in. Like you paid $75. This is what he did. He's looking at the panel. Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. Let's make sure. Oh, yep, them 2 nuts are good. I'm done. I was like, you got to be kidding me. He didn't look at anything else. Nothing like what was wired or whatever. Nothing. He was just there to inspect the panel so that if something would happen here, knock on wood, like a house fire or something, he inspected it.
Yeah. I mean, they know about the increase, obviously, because they had to run a new line to my house. But they were okay with that because the other line was really old. They actually wanted to get it out of there. And right next to my house, that little thing of trees that's close to my house, there's actually a transformer inside there. That's why we planted the trees around it and everything. But
is it one of them boxes?
Yeah, it's right there. You don't even notice it because it's surrounded by trees and those tall grasses and stuff. But it's in there. Yeah, we walk right past it, but it's in there. Yeah, it's different though when you get to the meter on the house. They want to put an e-meter on my house, but I don't really want the e-meter. They have to change some of the stuff. So
Well, I didn't want it neither, but they did it anyways. They're
Yeah.
going to keep doing it, unfortunately. And then the water authority here came and changed the meter. They made it an e-meter too, to where they can just read it wirelessly, right? And I'm like,
Yep.
damn it, that means it's going down to the actual gallon. It's not rounded anymore. It sucks.
Because they don't like driving all the way down to my house. It's too far off the main road, my big driveway and all that stuff. They like estimate me like 8 times a year. So
Well, that could be good or bad.
it's usually it works out pretty good because they always estimate high, and then at the end of the year, I like owe nothing for like a couple months. So right around this time of year,
That works.
so they've wised up a little bit, but there's been a lot of improvements because I remember when I first started the fish basement, I didn't have any DC pumps, and I still had some power compacts and stuff like that. You know, like I've made this. I've added many more tanks since then, but it's much more efficient now than it used to be. So keeps improving.
Well, you definitely know how to do it. I've seen it, and the way you do your filtration, you don't really need. Like, if I would have that many gallons in my house, of course, it'd be more than one tank, right? I would be using 10 times the amount of electricity you do.
Oh,
He said-
yeah.
So the way his systems are set up, it's like, I get it now. Especially when you see it in person, to me, I got to see it. And I told him that. I was like, I like everything you're doing, but I'm so glad I got to see it in person because it makes more sense to me. Like, his filtration systems are just awesome.
Yeah, he's gonna come over to my place. and
Yeah,
build
especially like that
the whole,
one
the
on,
whole thing going. I'm gonna put it right here.
especially that filter
There you
on
go.
that 4,500 gallon.
So
Yeah.
Real quick, Jeremy, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm changing the subject. What is the individual fish that you have had the longest right now?
it's gonna be one of those koi. I've had them since 2002.
Oh my God!
So-
There you go. All right.
It's
I'm
it's
always
gonna be. I
curious
have
about
I have an asagi. I have one asagi and one Tasho Sanko koi that are both from 2003. And they lived in
great.
Tampa, Florida. They lived in San Antonio, Texas. They lived in Frederick, Maryland, and now Damascus, Maryland.
That's awesome.
Next-
Good for
Next, Jeremy will be going to Japan and hand picking out his koi.
His
Oh,
They
I
actually
wouldn't
went
be
from
surprised.
Tampa to San Antonio in the back seat of a Jeep Wrangler
Oh, really?
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
with the top
That's
off and
great.
everything.
That's great.
I basically took the lid and I taped it down, but I put spacers at the front so it was jacked up, and the wind kept blowing in there and stressing the water to give them oxygen. The Jeep Wrangler doesn't have any place
There
to
you
do like a USB pump or anything like that. So
No.
it was just total ghetto-fied, you know.
You didn't need it.
It worked.
Now
That's
yeah,
great.
they got that.
Really.
It
Awesome.
worked. That's all that mattered.
And they lived in a baby pool for a few weeks while I built them a pond there. And then they moved to ultimately the official pond a couple months after that. You know.
Well, they must really be part of your family by now, right?
Yeah, that's why I was saying the 6 we lost were all from the same group, you know, and they're there, you know, for everybody. So
Yeah.
and they were just humongous.
Yeah.
You have no idea. And they were just so socialized. They've been, you know, around people their whole life, and you know, just you can pat them, get out of your hand. Like there's a trick with koi. You can take a handful of koi food and hold it in a fist as tight as you can hold it. Don't let them have it. Put your hand in the water, and they will suck it out of your hand. There's nothing you can do about it. Stop it. When they get
Yeah,
that
that'd be
big,
great.
their suction is so strong. It's you can't
I can
prevent them
imagine.
from getting it.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Yeah.
That's crazy.
What else were you sticking in the water?
Don't give Jimmy no ideas.
No,
Jimmy's like,
no.
huh, maybe I will have to make that
What?
drive.
Or
Oh
if
my
you want
God,
those koi to be your best friend, take a slice of watermelon, put it in there. They'll be bum rushing you like out of the water. All just trying to maul that watermelon.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow. I mean, they are a carp, and carp will pretty much eat anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they
pretty
will.
much.
I got to see some of his koi, and the
You know,
ones that
Jorge.
they're beautiful.
Jimmy's running to buy koi now.
I
Oh,
I
boy.
actually I went and bought koi from one of the greenhouses here, and they were really small. So I started them off in the little 20-gallon pond, and I was going to keep upgrading. And I was like, wait a minute, that was dumb, because my whole backyard will have to be a pond here before long. Because they get, I mean,
Yeah.
50 by 150 lot, but it's just thinking about it. It's like you're going to have a big pond. And luckily, I knew somebody in the area that had a pond, and she had goldfish in it. I said, hey, I got 2 fish that you might be interested in. And they were butterfly kois. And I took them up there, and they've been still going strong ever since. I was like, yep, they definitely need that space.
Yep.
Well, if you saw a skipper like that, that's a 2,000-gallon pond in the sunroom, and it's just they make it look small.
I mean, actually, whenever I walked in there, I think it's because it's in a room. It makes it look small. You don't think it's that big. And then obviously the decking around it, but you don't.
Yeah, it goes underneath everything. Yeah, so.
Yeah. But even that, what you see is freaking huge, right? But yeah, it's pretty amazing.
How big is that pond, Jeremy?
It's 20 feet long, 10 feet wide, and 3 feet deep.
That's a good size.
So what it is,
nice.
it's like the sunroom. Normally, the sunroom, like you'd step down from like the main living room of the house, and I made the decking come straight off, so the pond fills up like the entire space, and then there's decking above, so you can go all around it from above, and then the middle part's all open. But I have the filters in there. There's like the other part of the sunroom kind of goes further back, and the filter's over there. But it's not really big enough. It takes quite a bit of maintenance, so I'm trying to do something external. I don't know. It's not really how I want it to be, so I have to figure out something.
Still good sized.
Well, like I told you, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, now that there's half the fish in there, there's no stress on the system. It's fine in terms of that, but
Well, you'll figure it out. Like, you got time,
yeah, there's no rush.
It's not a rush. That one room we was in with the 2 tanks,
Oh yeah, the double DIY, the 600 and 750.
yeah, the 600. Oh man, I love that tank. I want one. That was amazing. Did you do
One
an
more
update?
question for Jeremy.
Did you do an update on that yet?
I don't know.
He's going to someday. He'll do it someday, I'm sure.
Well,
yeah.
I didn't want to spoil. That's why I was wondering.
I mean, say whatever you
I'm
want.
sure.
It doesn't matter.
Well, whenever I was with him,
I'm sure.
whenever we went to the House of Tropicals, he bought a bunch of fish to add and some plants. And I was like, he put them in there. It didn't look like he put a dent in the system. It's amazing.
Most of the plants the fish ate too.
Really?
Yeah, they mauled them.
And they were beautiful plants.
Jeremy,
That's why I have all the crypts and stuff. Is because even community fish will just maul the freaking stem plants. I don't think I have any fish that won't maul stem plants in anything.
You
Well,
said
that one
20 by
stem
10?
plant.
20 by 10, you said?
Yeah, 20 by 10 and then like 3 feet deep.
That puts that tank or that pond at 4,500 gallons. So your pond is the same size as your,
Oh,
and
oh.
that's probably not even counting the,
Well, you gotta,
Thanks,
any
Mike.
kind of
you
stump or
gotta add
whatever
the
you're going on.
substrate though. The substrate he has in there and stuff like that's going to bring it down.
A little bit. I mean, yeah, it's got river rock in the bottom.
Well,
You can say that about the tank too. I mean, nobody.
Yeah, actually, the same kind of river rocks are in the 2,500, so it's equal. You know.
yeah, that's crazy.
But I mean, those koi are. Well, I mean, the big ones were probably 30 inches long at least, and maybe a little longer. And just you can't until you bring them out of the water, you can't appreciate how they're just super fat. They're just huge.
What I love about koi is you look like a torpedo.
Yeah, that's those were all imported from Japan, and that's the look, you know, is the like the torpedo submarine, you know, like
Yeah.
not the ones with the bad genetics. They have like that fat bulgy stomach, and then the cuts in at the tail, you know. It's not the same.
Yeah, it just reminds me of regular carp from the lake.
Yeah, there was a time where you could get really high quality koi from Japan. I do a couple places on the East Coast. You could get them, and they really were pretty affordable if you bought tosai, which is like around a 6-inch fish. But nowadays, man, like everything else, the price has gone insane. You know, it's like 3, 4, 5, 6x what it used to be. So, thankfully, those fish have like a 75 to 100-year lifespan. So, it's worth spending money to get the right one if you plan on being in it for the long haul. You know.
Yep.
They'll outlive you, most likely. You know.
You just now saw that?
Boy.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I wish I could see chat. I have no idea what's going on.
Oof.
No, you're not missing.
they're
You're not missing a
talking
damn
crap.
thing, Jeremy. No worry.
You're just talking shit to Jimmy.
I mean, I don't really do any
Hey.
streaming. I need to get a decent setup so I can have proper signal and actually see chat and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you need to.
That would be nice.
Because
Yeah,
sometimes
did you get your laptop?
So,
No,
You don't
it
need-
was having the same. It was having the same problem. It's just the annex doesn't have. I need to add another Wi-Fi access point out there,
Oh, yeah.
so it's just too far away from the other stuff. So
where you edit your videos, you can stream right from there if you wanted to.
yeah, I was just trying to have. Well, I was wanting to be out in the annex for the 45. Have like a better background, having the bass swimming around and stuff. You know, just trying to give a better background.
You could put a green screen up, like a green sheet, and you can make it look like you're there.
Yeah, yeah.
There's ways around it.
Yeah.
we'll just see the chat is talking about sheep and some other stuff and let it go with that.
Yeah. Leave that to your imagination there. Well, guys,
I don't know
think
what that sheep said, but it's a lie. It's a damn lie.
Yeah, we'll go
Well,
with that.
it was talking about Jimmy, so
Oh, in that case, it's possibly true. I don't know. Sorry,
Nice to
Jeff.
see you
Yeah.
again, Jeremy.
well, guys, I think we call
Whip's
her
a bad
night.
influence on me.
Oh no,
It's all good.
I think we're all bad influences on one another,
You have
absolutely.
no idea.
especially this guy.
Well, it's Curtis's fault.
What?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's
oh, for
Curtis.
sure. It's always the quiet guy. It's the
See,
quiet
Whip
one.
It
knows.
is.
He's over there just stirring the pot, letting everything kind of go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Be careful, Whip. I got your address.
Yeah, yeah, you do.
And you're
Anyway, we'll catch everybody on the next one. Jeremy, I want to thank you for coming up. Whip,
Hey, thanks for having me.
Jimmy,
It's fun.
Skipper, Curtis. We'll see everybody on the next one.
Whether you want to or not.